Yo, what's good, Gear413 here back in the day, and today, guys, Forza has just dropped the biggest release yet for any car release for Forza Motorsport 7 with 142 brand new cars coming to Forza Motorsport 7, which that brings our total now to 551 cars, which means we still have a minimum of 149 cars to go. However, though, out of these 149 cars, we're probably going to be seeing race cars, which are basically going to be the same car over and over and over again, which, well, not all of them will be the same car over and over and over again, but there's going to probably be multiple examples of each one of them. As well, there's just some cars that haven't been announced yet, which I'm really hoping to see come to the game, and that's kind of disappointing. But anyway, today what I'm going to do, like always, I'm going to go over the brand new cars, which we have 10 returning from the Xbox 360, and one brand new car, kind of. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting in that aspect. Then I'm going to go over the cars that, of course, are, you know, just noticeably not there. And then, finally, we're going to read off the entire car list, all 142 brand new cars, which is just going to be crazy. I'm probably going to have to stop halfway through to take a couple sips of water because, my God, that's a lot of cars. My mouth is going to be dry as a desert at the end of this. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So our first car was more expensive than a Jaguar E-Type or a 911, being the 1970 Alfa Romeo Montreal, which debuted as a non-named concept at the Canadian Auto Show. Now, what's kind of funny about this car, you know, they didn't have a name for it, and the public was who started calling it the Montreal. But the funny part is, though, this car was never actually produced in the US or Canada, as it did not meet emission regulations, which is just funny. They have a car named after a Canadian city, which I'm not sure, is there there's got to be a Montreal somewhere else in the world, right? Like, is there an Italy Montreal? I feel like there's Montreal elsewhere. I can't remember, though, off the top of my head where exactly it is. But they have a car that has the same name as a very popular Canadian city, or very populated, that is, and they never sold the car in Canada, even though they announced it in Canada. It's just one of those weird things. Like, why would you do that? Like, you're teasing the Canadian population, like, look, we have a fantastic car! You can't have it! I don't know what accent that was, but it's just comical. But our next car, though, is another return from Forza Motorsport 4, being the 2009 Audi Q7 V12 TDI, which this car has another funny story. Audi was actually sued by Nissan over the Audi Q7 because they were using the letter Q. Because I guess back in like the 90s, Nissan had a car model known as the Q45, which I think they might have sold them in the US. I'm really not sure. I've never really looked into it. It's never been a car like, oh man, I need a Nissan Q45. But yeah, Nissan actually ended up suing them over the letter Q, but eventually settled out of court for, I think there was an unannounced sum of money as well. Audi was only allowed to use it for the Q3, the Q5, and the Q7. But also, the Audi Q7 had a bunch of new safety features that were like just new to the world. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop my car right here, as I gotta read these. Alright, I don't have them memorized. I gotta read them. So first up, what it had something known as predictive efficiency assistance, which used route data from the navigation system to alert the driver to situations in which it may have to slow down, such as curves, towns, or speed limit change signs. And with this system, though, it was actually able to reduce fuel consumption in interurban areas by nearly 10%. That is actually really remarkable. Just being able to change your fuel consumption, like, I normally get 40 miles per gallon, but I live in an interurban area. Now I get 44 miles per gallon. That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. Now, I'm sure, like, their normal MPG rating is exactly that number, like the 10% reduce. So, actually, I think the most usually with the MPG numbers is what you can get if you're a real tryhard, because I'm pretty sure what they do is they take those cars and they put them on like basically giant treadmills and just drive like that commercial, guys. I'm sure it's not actually a treadmill. I'm sure it's actually, oh, God, I can't think of it. Yeah, but and then they just drive it and try and see how many miles they can get out of 1 gallon of gas if they're trying super hard, air condition off, radio off, almost all the electronics turned off, just driving very, very carefully for 1 mile to see how much gas they get, and then they'll go out and drive it on the highway, see what they can get. Or, you know, it's weird how they do it. Then what they had is they had turning assistant, which monitors opposing traffic when turning left at low speeds, and even in critical situations, it would brake for you, which I could see this being a bad feature, because imagine you're midway through a left turn, then all of a sudden there's a car speeding right towards you and it's about to T-bone you, and your car decides, I'm gonna brake. Like, I just don't get that one. I don't get that one. My mom was actually involved in an accident while turning left, and she was in a Ford Explorer and got front-end collisioned by a Toyota Camry, which totaled the Explorer. It was a bad deal. She was speeding. It was really, really bad. Then what we have exit warning system, which indicated the vehicle for cyclists or other vehicles that were passing when opening up the door. So, like, for example, you're parking on the street and then all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm going to get out of my car now and go get myself a cup of coffee. Oh, there's a cyclist. Car will tell you, don't open your door. Hold on a second. So, then our next car, though, is the 2002 BMW Z3M Coupe, which I've never been a really big fan of the Z3, but after looking at its long list of awards, I may have to try and drive one of these days. Never own one. I don't want to ever own one because it's not there's cars that are better than it now. But in 2002, this car was the bomb diggity dog. And I mean, it was freaking awesome. I mean, it won Top Gear. It won a Top Gear award. Driver's Car of the Year 2000. As well, it won an award from Jalopnik, Top 10 Cars of the Decade. That's how good this car is. And I've always just been like, I don't really care. I don't like it. Which, after seeing some of these awards, I'm kind of like, I might have to give this car a second chance. I just never liked the styling of it. Also, my boss owned one for a long time. He ended up wrecking it, though. So, I mean, it was never a car that I really liked. As well, though, the funniest award, though, is it won an award from Edmunds, which was most desired convertible between the $25,000 and $40,000 price range. Which, how many convertible cars were there in the $25,000 to $40,000 price range? I feel like the BMW Z3 literally had almost no competition. It had to just be that good. I think, what is there? There's the Honda S2000 maybe around that time. I don't even know if that was over 25 grand when it first came out. But that's one car right there that I would honestly rather have than the BMW Z3. What else? I'm trying to think. Can't really think, really. Mazda MX-5. A new MX-5. Oh no, those are actually less than 25 grand. So I don't know, but I think that is kind of a comical award, as the Z3 pretty much had no competition. Then what we have is the 2009 BMW M5 E60, which was the most how do I put it? It was the most sold. Yeah, guys, I just said that really, really weird. I know. The most sold BMW M5 ever, because it is freaking amazing. It's a beautiful car. It does its job. It's just a great car, which the good news, though, for being the most sold one ever is that there are definitely a lot of used examples on the market. So if you want a BMW M5 E60, well, you're in luck. You're probably going to be able to get one if you really, really, really want one. So that's kind of good news for us. Now, I am going to put a link in the description to a video that somebody made back in Forza Motorsport 4 when it was announced that the E60 M5 was not going to be returning to Forza in Forza Horizon. They did like a little tribute goodbye, and I thought it was kind of comical that they did this. Maybe it's because they actually own one or something, but I wanted to go ahead and put it on here as it actually, you know, kind of helped me realize that this car was in Forza, because there wasn't really a whole lot of information about the BMW M5 being in Forza. So, yeah, you guys can enjoy that. But then our next car, though, is the 2009 Holden HSV W427, which really I could not find any information on this car. Barely any information, except for the fact that, kind of like our Pontiac last week, this car also sports a a Corvette engine, which, you know, we were talking about European cars, and this is really an Australian car, so they did mention, though, Forza did mention, I will give them that it was only kind of European cars. It's not really exclusive European cars, so we have a couple other cars that I'm going to bring up later when we do the full list. So this car does have a Corvette Z06 engine that put out more than 500 horsepower. So similar to our Pontiac kids, if you're in Australia and you are looking for your first car, I'm sure the Holden HSV W427 might be cheap enough for you to buy. I actually really don't know the price of this car, because I'm not sure how to look for cars that are actually sold in Australia here in the US, so I'm sure I could probably just Google it, or maybe there's like cars.aus or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, though, our next car, though, we kind of already have it, but it is brand new to the Forza franchise, being the 2014 HSV Gen F GTS. Now, this car, why I say it's kind of new, is some of you guys might be thinking, wait, we already have this car. Which, the one that we have, though, is the 2014 HSV Limited Edition Gen F GTS Maloo. So we got a ute version of this, and now we are getting a sedan version of the car, which, really, did we need a Holden sedan? I know there's probably someone out there, most likely in Australia, who's like, yes, we need more Holden sedans. Yes, give me Holden superpower supercar sedans, yeah. I'm just kind of like over here like, I mean, it's a cool car and all, and of course I'm probably going to end up buying it eventually in Forza 7, but I'm just sort of meh on this one. It's really not exciting me at all. Then our next car, though, is returning from the Xbox 360 console. Kind of. So kind of like the last car, this one's another interesting story, as we are getting the 2004 Mercedes-Benz C32 AMG, which, if you guys aren't familiar, this is that Mercedes traffic car that you guys see all around Forza Horizon 2 and Forza Horizon 3. The exact same car. Literally, they're probably just porting over this traffic car, be like, oh, that's a new car. Yeah, we'll use this car. Yeah, they get a new car. And again, this was another one of those cars that I found very difficult to find too much information on. It was mostly sold as a sedan. Some markets got a wagon. And I guess they were trying to bring back more high-end customers with this car. Which, why wouldn't they just try with an E-Class, since that's more expensive anyway? But yeah, I mean, it's just meh. Again, it's another one of those cars I really don't care too much about. Although, I will say, my first car was a 1994 Mercedes C-Class. So, I mean, it is kind of cool that we're still getting another C-Class. But Forza, give me a Mercedes C-Class from the 90s. I want a Mercedes C-Class from the 90s. The closest thing that I get is the W202. I don't really care for that. I mean, it's a good car, too. I will say the W202 is actually a really good car, and I do want to see that car in the game. But I didn't really want to talk about it. So then what we have is we have the 2009 Mercedes-Benz ML63 AMG, which, another car from Forza Motorsport 4, and again, another car I found very difficult to find too much information about. It did win Canadian Car of the Year in 2006, if anybody actually cares about that. So, what I do find interesting about the Mercedes-Benz ML is apparently there is another YouTuber out there who owned a Mercedes-Benz ML, and I remember I think I sold this on Car Throttle, and I think he's got somewhere around 60,000 subscribers when his car got stolen. That's right, guys, this guy's car got stolen, and he called the police, and it became so hot because it was all over the news. Mercedes-Benz ML stolen from YouTuber, and the guys who actually ended up stealing it ended up driving it through someone's cornfield and throwing it into their tree line, just leaving it abandoned. I mean, they had to push hard to get this car back there. Like, I mean, it was back there. It was going to be tough to get out. And when the guy saw it, he was just so disappointed. I mean, there were huge scratches in the paint, and I mean, this car was immaculate before he got it back. It was beautiful. And then there was all this damage and a bunch of crap left behind that wasn't his. It just didn't work out too well. It didn't work out too well. So he did get the car back, and that's the good news. He did get his car back. I think he had only bought it though because he said it was like a really, really good deal. So, but being a Mercedes, of course, you know, the public thinks, oh my god, you bought a Mercedes, you must be rich. But like I said, my first car was a Mercedes, and literally that car was a shitbox. Okay, so like I was saying, that car was a shitbox. I mean, the wheels fell off of it. It had dry rotted tires that one of them eventually ended up bursting on me, causing me to have an accident. And I mean, it wasn't good, guys. I was a poor high school student. I couldn't afford to do any maintenance on it. Yeah, it wasn't good. I paid less than $2,000 for the car, so it's not like I dropped like 10 grand or something like that. But some of the kids at school thought I did. They're like, oh my god, he's got a Mercedes, and then they see it. So, I mean, it was funny. It was funny. And of course, my controller ended up dying right there, so hopefully that part will be, the controller dying part will be edited out so that you guys don't have to deal with it. Then what we have is we have the original hot hatch from Vauxhall, the Vauxhall Astra VXR from 2006, which basically, again, it's one of these cars that I can't find a whole lot of information about. It was a sporty Vauxhall Astra, nothing really special about that. Literally, how I can, like, you know, sort of put it in retrospect, it's the Honda Civic Si or the Ford Fiesta ST of Vauxhall. That's literally it. I mean, I don't even know why they made the thing in the first place. It's a crappy car that they made a little bit faster. Now, I'm sure there's someone out there who has a Vauxhall Astra from 2006, and I'm not saying that it's actually like a crappy car. The Vauxhall Astra was originally meant to, you know, be sort of a low-end budget car, and then they made it a little bit faster with the VXR version. That's all I'm saying, guys. All I'm saying. I'm not dissing the car. I'm not dissing the car. I actually like the Vauxhall Astra. I really do like the new one. The new VXR. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. But then what we have is we have the 2008 Volkswagen Touareg R50, which is our final car on this list. And honestly, guys, this car, it's a little bit disappointing, but this car was put out of production this year. And it's being replaced by the Volkswagen, what is it? Is it the Astral? Is that what it is? I don't actually know the name. I only heard it one time before. But a new Volkswagen SUV has been announced, and it's going to replace the Volkswagen Touareg. In this car, though, it actually does hold the record for the biggest amount pulled by a passenger vehicle when it pulled a Boeing 747. That is crazy. Now, I'm sure I've seen like pickup trucks do this before in like commercials and stuff, but the Volkswagen Touareg actually has a Guinness World Record for it. So, I mean, that is pretty cool. So, but now, let's go ahead and talk about the cars that aren't going to be in the game. So, the first one that I noticed is the 2010 500 Estise. I don't know how to actually pronounce it. It's the Fiat 500 of Barth. Alright, it's not going to be in Forza. Not really going to say much more about it. It's just kind of meh. Now, another car that I'm not really surprised it's not in the game, but a little bit also kind of like surprising that it's maybe not in the game, is the Alfa Romeo SUV. Now, I'm not really sure on the name of it, as I don't have any particular interest, but the fact that they're bringing back the Audi Q7 kind of makes me wonder why they didn't decide to, you know, add in like the Audi SUV, or I mean, not the Audi SUV, the Alfa Romeo SUV, because I mean, we have the Jaguar F-Pace, we've got the Bentley Bentayga. I mean, they've added all these luxury SUVs in, so why not the Alfa Romeo? It's like the only one not on the list. Then another car that I'm disappointed not to be seeing on this list is the Alfa Ghia Quadrifoglio. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a long-ass name. And that is that really hot sedan that they have. It looks so good, and it's so quick. It's like a BMW M5 competitor, and I really, really want to drive this car. I want to own this car, man. It is a nice car. In fact, I wonder, though, how much do they actually go for? Because I might buy one if they're cheap enough, eventually. I'm not going to buy one, like, tomorrow, because I'm a poor YouTuber with a full-time job, and my full-time job does not pay enough for me to afford an Alfa Romeo Ghia Quadrifugia. I mean, it just doesn't. Eventually, it will when you know, I get some raises and crap like that, but, I mean, it's not necessarily the most high-paying job in the world or something like that. I don't work in, like, you know, engineering or business or something like that. I'm not super rich or anything. So, then, some other cars that I didn't really see is no 2014 BMW M235i, which is in Forza Horizon 3. We aren't seeing that car returning back. No 2017 Fiat 124 Spider, which that's kind of a disappointment to see. Although we do have the 2017 Mazda MX-5, so really, are we losing a car, or are we just... I mean, all it is styling. It's literally it. I mean, we have the car, basically. Not too big of a deal. But then we're not getting a couple of the cars that were released with the Blizzard Mountain DLC, such as the 75 Stratus HF Group F, or not Group F, Group 4, the 85 Delta S4 Group B, and then, yeah, just those two. Just those two. But a car that I'm actually really surprised not to see is the 2014 Range Rover Supercharged. Now, the reason why we're not getting this car in the game is because it's been replaced with the 2012 Range Rover Supercharged. So it's kind of odd that we're not seeing a 2014, but we're getting the 2012. I don't understand that one. That one's kind of weird to me. No X-Ray Mini, so we aren't getting the off-road Mini Cooper. Now, this one I found kind of weird, because in Forza Horizon 3, we have the 1990 Lotus Carlton, but it's underneath Vauxhall. Now, the Lotus Carlton's already been announced, but it was announced under Lotus, not Vauxhall. So it looks like they actually changed the brand name on this car for the next game. So there was another car, though, in this full list that I'm going to mention later on when I start rambling off every single car that was announced. So, just sort of there. And then finally, one car that I'm just kind of disappointed not to be seeing in the game, not even really that I want this car in the game, but just it's not in the game, is the 2017 Beetle. We didn't get the new Beetle, which they're bringing back Volkswagen. They should have brought back like a new Volkswagen. I don't know, that's just me. I mean, we do get the 2014 Golf R, which is the real car that I want. So, not super disappointed in that one. I don't know why I put it in here. But then there was also no mention of some other cars. No mention of Morgan, which is a British car company that makes all their cars out of wood. So we aren't getting the Morgan 3-wheeler. No mention of the Spania GTA. You know, that car that we all had trouble actually getting our hands on because Forza was really screwing up and couldn't gift it out to us all. So, and then there was no mention of the MG either. So, it definitely looks like we're not going to get any MG midgets or the MG rally car. So, kind of disappointing on those aspects, but really, they're not too much of a disappointment. But finally, let's go ahead and go over the entire list of cars. Give me just a second on this one. I'm going to stop. I'm going to open up my water. I'm going to take a drink. Ah, tasty. All right, let's get started. 2013 Abarth Punto Supersport, 2016 Abarth 695. Oh shoot, Biposto. 1970 Alfa Romeo Montreal, 1986 Alfa Romeo GT6 or GTV6, 1986 Alfa Romeo Spire Quadrifoglio Verde, 1990 Alfa Romeo SV Sprint Zagato, 1992 Alfa Romeo 155 Q4, 1992 Alfa Romeo Milano Quadrifoglio Verde, 2007 Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione, 2011 Alfa Romeo Ghia Quadrifoglio Verde, 2014 Alfa Romeo 4C. Now we're into Audi. 1983 Sport Quattro, 1995 RS2 Avant, 2001 RS4 Avant, 2003 RS6, 2004 S4, 2006 RS4, 2009 Q7 V12 TDI, 2009 RS6, 2010 TT RS Coupe, 2011 RS3 Sportback, 2011 RS5 Coupe, 2013 RS4 Avant, 2013 RS7 Sportback, 2013 Audi R8 Coupe V10 Plus 5.2 FSL Quattro. I don't know if that's an I or an L. 2015 Audi RS6 Avant, 2015 Audi S1, 2015 S3 Sedan, 2015 TTS Coupe, 2016 Audi R8 V10 Plus, now we're in a Bentley, Continental GT Speed 2013, 2015 EXP 10 Speed 6 Concept, woohoo! 2016 Bentley Bentayga, 2017 Bentley Continental Supersports, 2012 Bowler XRS, now we're in a BMW, 2002 Turbo, 1981 M1, 1986 M635 CSI, kind of weird combination right there, 88 M5, 91 M3, 95 850 CSI, 95 M5, 97 M3, 2000 323 Ti Sport, which have a good story to tell about this one really quickly. So, I used to run a lot in school, like I actually used to be a runner. And one kid that was on the cross-country team with me actually had a 2000 BMW 323 Ti Sport, and I had my 1994 Mercedes C-Class. Now, what we decided to do one day is we have this pretty large parking lot. We had a drag race in that parking lot, and my assistant coach was actually egging us on to do this the whole time. He's like, I want to see a drag race between these classic luxury cars. So we ended up doing it, and I lost. 2000 BMW Z8, 2002 BMW Z3 M Coupe, 2003 M5, 2005 M3, 2008 M3, 2009 M5 E60, 2010 M6 Coupe, 2011 1 Series M Coupe, 2011 Z4 S Drive 35IS, 2011 X5M, 2012 M5, 2013 M6 Coupe, 2014 M Coupe, 2015 i8, 2015 X6M, 2016 M2 Coupe, 2016 M4 GTS, 2013 Caterham Superlight RS500, 1975 Fiat X1/9, 1980 Abarth Fiat 131, which is kind of weird because this one actually switched from Abarth to Fiat, so kind of odd. 1980 Fiat 124 Sport Spider, but again, no 2017 Fiat 124 Spider, so that's kind of odd. 1973 Holden HQ Monaro GTS 350, 1974 Sandman HQ Panel Van, 1977 Terrena A9X, 1985 HDT VK Commodore Group A, which it looks like it's finally joining Holden instead of being off by itself. 1988 Holden VL Commodore Group ASB, 1996 HSV GTSR, 2009 HSV W427, 2011 HSV GTS, 2014 HSV Gen F GTS, 2014 HSV Limited Edition Gen F GTS Maloo, 2013 Hyundai Velociter Turbo, which is Korean. And then there was no mention of Genesis, so it doesn't look like we're going to be getting the Genesis Coupe, which is really, really unfortunate. Then we got the 1990 Jaguar XJS, the 2012 Jaguar XKRS, 1993 Jaguar XJ220, 2015 Jaguar F-Type R Coupe, 2015 Jaguar XES, 2015 Jaguar XFRS, 2015 Jaguar XKRS GT, 2016 F-Type Project 7, 2017 F-Pace S. Now we're in the Lancia, 1974 Stratus HS Stradale, 1982 037 Stradale, 1986 Delta S4, 1992 Delta HF Integrale Evo, 1972 Land Rover Series 3, 1997 Defender 90, 2012 Range Rover Supercharged, 2015 Range Rover Sport SVR, and a Shut the Hell Up. I seriously mean shut the hell up. 1972 Mercedes-Benz 300 SEL 6.3, 1990 Mercedes-Benz 190E 2.5-16 Evolution 2, 1998 Mercedes-Benz AMG CLK GTR, 2004 Mercedes-Benz C32 AMG, 2009 Mercedes-Benz ML63 AMG, 2009 Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG Black Series, 2011 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, 2012 C63 AMG Coupe Black Series, 2012 SLK55 AMG, 2013 A45 AMG, 2013 E63 AMG, 2013 G65 AMG, 2015 GTS, 2016 C63S Coupe, 2017 AMG GTR, 2009 Mini Cooper John Cooper Works, 2012 John Cooper Works GP, 1970 Opel Kadett C GTE, 1984 Opel Manta 400, Renault Alpine A110, A110 1600S, 1980 Renault 5 Turbo, 1990 Renault Alpine GTA Le Mans, 2003 Renault Sport Clio V6, I love that car, 2010 Renault Clio RS, 2013 Renault Clio RS 200, 1993 Renault Clio Williams, 2010 Renault Megane RS 250, 2016 Rolls-Royce Dawn, 2018 Tomo Racemo, which is Indian, not European, 2006 Valstro Astra VXR, 2009 Vauxhall Corsa VXR, 2012 Vauxhall Astra VXR, which I like that one, 2016 Vauxhall Corsa VXR, 1972 Volvo 1800E, 1983 Volvo 242 Evolution, 1997 Volvo 850R, 2015 Volvo S60 Polestar, 2015 Volvo V60 Polestar, 1981 Volkswagen Scirocco S, 1984 Volkswagen Rabbit GTI, 1988 Volkswagen Scirocco 16V, 1992 Volkswagen Golf GTI 16V Mark II, 1995 Volkswagen Corrado VR6, 1998 Volkswagen GTI VR6 MK3, 2003 Volkswagen Golf R32, 2008 Volkswagen Touareg R50, 2010 Volkswagen Golf R, 2011 Volkswagen Scirocco R, and finally, the last car, the 2014 Volkswagen Golf R. Holy hell, guys, this is a long-ass video. I'm sorry for how long it is, but I had to talk about all the new cars. I had to talk about the cars that weren't here. And then we had 142 brand new cars to talk about. Oh, shit, guys. Anyway, though, that's where I'm going to wrap it up for today. If you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Gurr413 and Instagram.com/Gurr413. And as well, if you guys like this video, go ahead and make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe for more videos coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye. Oh, Jesus Christ.